So the good news on corporation tax is that the Chancellor's continued along the route of reducing the headline rate. So the rate will reduce to 17% from April 2020, which is obviously positive news. The quid pro quo to that is that he wants to make sure that all companies are actually paying corporate tax, and so he wants to level the playing field for all companies. So this involves not only reducing the rate of corporation tax, but also clamping down on avoidance. And that's certainly something that features in today's budget, particularly for larger multinationals. There has been an outcry before the budget from both the press and the public that some very large companies, very profitable companies, haven't been paying any corporation tax at all in the UK. And that could be for good reasons. It could be that they've been claiming large deductions for interest payments, and there have been some anti-avoidance provisions included in today's budgets to clamp down on multinationals and restrict the amount of interest relief they can claim. But also it could be due to brought forward trading losses from prior years that would reduce the rate of corporation tax down to zero. And so from April 2017 there will be new rules which mean that companies will be restricted on the corporate tax losses that can be brought forward and set against current year profits. Going forward, any company that makes more than 5 million profit could only shelter 50% of that with brought forward losses, and the other 50% they would have to pay tax on. There are already similar rules for banks, and in fact there were changes today for banks too, so that they can only shelter 25% of their profits with brought forward trading losses. Also from April 2017 there will be more flexibility for corporate tax losses, which means that rather than being able to carry forward losses against future profits of the same trade, companies from April 17 will be able to set them against other taxable income and also against income of other group companies as well, which is a very welcome change. And finally, one of the major changes has been to business rates reform. This has been something that companies have cried out for, and the Chancellor has taken some action. And the changes introduced today will mean that up to 6.7 billion of tax of rates could be saved over the next 5 years by particularly smaller companies, some of which will be completely exempt from business rates.